Are you sure you know what it's like to have a promise broken? It's dramatic and painful when someone lies to you behind your back. They did it to you, didn't they? They made you feel like you didn't matter. They tore apart your world, leaving you to bleed and struggle for justice and some kind of explanation. However, you may be surprised to learn that betrayal is not the worst aspect of this situation. You want to know what really destroys them. Don't care about anything. That's the game. Share. The moment you stop feeling, stop caring, stop reacting. You want to make them suffer. You don't need to scream. You don't need to cry. You don't need to fight. No, all you need is silence. Pure, empty silence. And let me tell you, that silence, it's deafening to them. It's like a blade to the soul that cuts deeper than any betrayal could ever dream of. Because here's the truth. They'll never tell you. They want to see you suffer. They want to watch the cracks form on your face as you unravel, as the weight of their actions crushes you under its PR pressure. They want to see you beg. They want to hear you cry. They want the satisfaction of knowing they still have power over you. That's the real aim of betrayal. It's not just about hurting you. It's about owning you, about keeping you locked in their grip. They want you to feel their actions. They want you to feel the sting of their decisions, like it's a knife, and every twist makes you bleed more. But here's where the game changes when you stop reacting, when you go quiet, when you just walk away, unfazed, detached, unbothered. That's when they lose. And I mean really lose. You want to destroy them. You don't need anger. You don't need revenge. You don't need to make them pay. No, you just need to make them feel irrelevant. Make them realize that they've done their worst, and you still don't care. That's the real poison. Because as soon as you show them that you don't care, that's when the walls close in on them, and they don't even know why. You see, they're expecting something from you. They're expecting that when they've broken you, when they've hurt you, they'll get a reaction. They'll see the cracks. They'll see the anger, the sadness, the rage they're waiting for you to beg for you to come crawling back, for you to show them how much they've ruined you. But instead you give them nothing. Nothing at all. And that nothing, it eats them alive. Because here's what people don't understand when you stop caring. You take away their narrative. You take away their ability to control the story. They can't manipulate you anymore. They can't twist your emotions to make themselves feel powerful. You become a void, and let me tell you, they hate that. That's the worst part of it. It's not just that you've walked away, it's that they no longer matter to you. Their actions, their words, they're meaningless. You've already dismissed them from your world, and they're left scrambling, trying to figure out how to get you to react. And that's where the madness sets in, the emptiness. When they realize you've moved on and found a place where they can't hold you anymore, they're still stuck in that cycle of their own guilt. They start to question everything. Was it all for nothing? Were they never important to you? Were they just a chapter in a book they can't even remember writing? They'll never find the answer, because the answer lies in the one thing they can't understand, your indifference. You've closed the door on them silently, causing a level of devastation that's unimaginable. There's more to come because the story gets more complicated. See, no matter how much they think they're in charge, the more you give them nothing, the more they'll try to get something from you. Initially, they will initiate small actions such as sending a text, making a call, or even having an in-person visit. They will be assessing the situation, akin to a predator observing its prey for any signs of vulnerability. But all they get is more silence, and they hate it. They hate that their presence doesn't bother you, so they start yelling at you, blaming you, and saying sorry. They might even try to act like the enemy. I apologize for causing you pain. I sincerely hope we can resolve this issue together. But you've already moved on, you know what they're up to, and you don't care. As they try to win your love again, they show how desperate they are, and they'll never realize that chasing you destroys them. Every word they say, every action they take, it just compounds the damage. They're digging their own grave, and they don't even know it, but they won't stop. They can't, because they've never faced this kind of rejection before. They've never been forgotten. They've never been made irrelevant in such a deep, personal way. And that, my friend, is where the real terror begins, because the more they try, the more they fail. And every time they fail, they'll feel it. They'll feel the emptiness, the crushing weight of knowing that you've moved on, that they no longer matter to you, and they'll start to fall apart. They'll doubt themselves. They'll question everything they thought they knew about themselves. Because in your absence, in your indifference, they'll start to see their own flaws. They'll see how broken they really are, and it'll drive them mad. And you just keep walking. You just keep moving on, because you know what's happening. You're not even part of their story anymore. You've left it behind. You've turned the page, and now they're the ones stuck in a chapter they'll never escape. They've written their own ending, and it's one they'll never be able to rewrite. But here's the beauty of it. They'll never know it was you who destroyed them. They'll never know it was your silence that shattered their world. They'll never know how much you've taken from them. They'll just keep chasing that illusion, trying to get a piece of you, trying to pull you back into their chaos, but they'll never get it. They'll never get you back, because you've already walked away, and now they're lost. And in the end, you won, because the worst part of betrayal isn't the pain. It's the indifference that follows, and you've mastered it. You've turned their weapon against them, and they're just left staring into the abyss, wondering where they went wrong. You see, once you stop reacting, once you stop being a pawn in their game, their world begins to crumble. They'll try to make sense of it. They'll try to justify their actions, but it will never add up. There's no closure for them, no resolution, because the one thing they wanted from you, the one thing that could have made them feel like they still mattered, was your attention, your emotional response. Without that, they're lost in a sea of confusion. They become lost in their own confusion, unable to acknowledge their own failure. The people who hurt you or broke you will always be looking over their shoulder, hoping for a sign that you'll come running back, desperate for approval. But when that sign never comes, when their calls and texts go unanswered, when you keep your distance and stay silent, they'll have their worst nightmare come true. They'll realize too late that the most powerful form of revenge isn't hurting you. It's being quiet while you're gone. But they'll keep coming back. They'll push, they'll produce, and they'll test your results over and over again. They'll throw out more shame, manipulation, and promises of change, each one weaker than the last. But you won't move or change. You'll stay still, and it will break them down little by little, like a spring. Once they realize you broke them, they'll question their reality. Their denial, anger, bargaining, and acceptance will all be in vain, because the truth is too painful to face. That moment when they realize they'll never be the same in your life, when they realize they were just a shadow and couldn't hold your attention, that's when they start to fall apart. This is where things get interesting. In their desperation, they'll try to manipulate their way back in by using everything they know about you to get some kind of reaction. Maybe they'll try guilt. Maybe they'll tell you how much they've changed, how much they regret the past. Maybe they'll even try to position themselves as the victim, as if they were the ones who were wronged. They'll want to see you react. Just one tiny crack in your resolve will make them feel like they've won. They'll want to hear that you've missed them, that you're still emotionally invested in the mess they made of your life. But here's the trick. The longer you stay silent, the more desperate they become, the more pathetic they look. They'll go from pleading to demanding, from making excuses to trying to twist the truth, but they'll never succeed, because at this point you've already moved on. You're no longer bound to them by any chain of emotion. You're free. And they're still stuck in the quicksand of their own actions, sinking deeper with every word they speak, every move they make. They'll try to re-enter your world with the same MK, the same lies, the same manipulations. But it's too late. You've already closed the door. They're locked out. They won't be able to understand why they can't get back to you, why you won't even acknowledge their presence. They'll blame themselves and you, but they'll know the truth. They can't get back to you because they never learned to value you, and when you leave their life, without a trace, without a word, they'll start to see their flaws, their lack of worth, and their inability to hold on to something real. But there's a catch. It wasn't love or reconciliation that they wanted most. It was power. They wanted to control your emotions and change your reality to fit their needs. When you cease caring and stop engaging in the game, they come to the realization that they had no control over you, a realization that consumes them deeply. You become a ghost. You become the memory that haunts them. They'll try to fill the hole by getting involved with new things and meeting new people, but nothing will ever be the same. They'll never forget the power they lost. And what's worse, they won't even know that you took it away from them. They won't know that their own acts, their own betrayal, brought about their doom. The more they try to regain control, the more they'll lose. And now the story takes a dark turn, because it's no longer about the betrayal or trying to get back into your life. It's about their destruction. The more they chase you, the more they push, the more they reveal their true selves. They start to unravel little by little. The person they once were begins to fade, replaced by someone they don't even recognize. The lies they've told, the guilt they've buried, all of it starts to catch up with them, and now they're not just losing you, they're losing themselves. They'll look in the mirror and see a stranger staring back at them. They'll see someone who couldn't hold on to the most valuable thing they had, someone who destroyed the one person who was truly worth their time. And when that realization hits them, when they see the wreckage of their own life, the damage will be irreversible. They'll wonder if they'll ever feel whole again, or if they're just doomed to live in the ruins of their own mistakes. In the end, they become their own worst enemy, their own destruction. And while you, the one they hurt, the one they betrayed, have already moved on, found peace and let go of the chaos they created, they're left in a spiral of regret, frustration, alienation and loss. And that, my friend, is the greatest victory you could ever have, because in the end, they'll destroy themselves. All you had to do was walk away, silent and indifferent, and that's the real power. The most powerful way to get even, the strongest form of revenge, is not anger or hate, not even betrayal. The strongest form of revenge is indifference. Once you master it, you'll be able to destroy them without them even realizing it.